Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Just the Tips, our weekly podcast, episode number 3 already. Coming to you live from the Maximum Results Fitness Studios here in beautiful Uptown Kingston. For those that are local, remember to join us on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5 o'clock every week by reservation only to come out and work out with us.
Golf workout.
Yep. Today in episode number 3, we're going to talk about our first Caribbean trip with Just the Tips and our opportunity to go to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, so last week on episode 2, we talked about meeting Hector Blanco. If you haven't checked that one out, definitely go back and check that out and look at all the stuff that we posted in this last week. But now we're going to talk about the other stuff.
Yeah, so Mike and I worked together this summer on a couple of golf tournaments, and we agreed that, hey, listen, we need to get away this winter. An opportunity to play in Puerto Rico came up, 4 days, 3 nights, and we wanted to maximize the trip. So we
at least 18 holes every single day.
Yep.
Planned.
We were staying. We got invited to stay at the Wyndham Rio Del Mar next to the beautiful rainforest. I forget the name of it right now.
Right next to those beautiful, famous mountains.
Oh, it's unbelievable. So about 40 minutes east of San Juan, about a half hour east of the airport. So we looked up, like everybody does, top 10 places to play in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, so I did my homework. I'm kind of OCD when it comes to stuff like that, and I want to know where to play, how far is it, how many holes can we get in, what's everything like, and so I'm typing in a lot of these things. And Puerto Rico's it is a big island to where there's courses not near where we were, but the decent amount between San Juan and where we were staying. There were some really cool courses. One, the Puerto Rican Open is at, and then there's another course on that resort. There was 2 at the resort that we were staying, so I had everything kind of all pretty planned out.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing was the resort we were staying at had a beautiful course called the Ocean Course, which anytime you name something the Ocean Course, you know it's going to be good. And they had one called the River. Unfortunately, when we called down for tee times, they had a lot of tournaments going on in the Ocean Course. They were happy to let us play the River as often as we wanted, but they had 5 temporary greens at that time, and you don't fly several thousand miles to play temporary greens. So our lineup included the Ocean Course, the Grand Reserve, Coco, and then back at the Ocean. Those were supposed to be the 4. So one of the things that Mike and I have traveled for golf before, but I've never traveled for specifically golf. Out of the country. I know Puerto Rico is still a territory, but again, going to the Caribbean.
So I traveled once where I was flying and I was definitely playing golf, but we got rentals.
Right. So it's you might be asking yourself, hey, if I have a golf destination, and again, if you're only playing 1 day, you're probably going to get the rentals, right? But if this is a golf trip, do you use the rentals? And some places brag up the rentals, but they're not your clubs. Do you use ship sticks or another shipping service, to get them down, or do you drag them through the airport with you?
And do you do hard case or soft case, all that stuff?
So after taking a look for this particular trip, we decided that we were gonna bring our clubs with us, and I'd never traveled with my clubs. I wanted to use a soft case for weight.
And you hear the horror stories about traveling with them, soft case, and they toss them and breaking them and all things like that.
Yeah.
So, but we took the chance.
And what was great though is you guys can see a video coming out of Mike showing you how to properly pack your bag. It's a great video because there's some good tips that we got along the way that'll definitely help prevent something like a broken driver or somebody going through your stuff or just any of the nightmares that you would hope wouldn't happen.
Yeah, we were good.
So the bottom line was we got there and our clubs got there on time. We got to at the airport in a hurry. It was a beautiful day when we landed, and we got in the shuttle. And as we drove about 40 minutes,
dude, San Juan was beautiful. What was it? We'll call it 85 and sunny,
right? But every minute that we drove closer to the resort, the clouds got darker and darker, and it started to sprinkle, and then it started to rain.
Like a cartoon. Like watching Twister.
Yeah, exactly. It was like we were storm chasers, where the weather was getting worse was where we were going. But the trick is we really only had 2 hours from the time the plane landed until our tee time. So we got to the resort and it was raining pretty good. We said, you know, look at the radar, we said it'll pass. We jumped in the shuttle, we got over there a few minutes before our tee time, and
so we get in there and they said that our tee time was pushed back 2 hours. And we were like, no, it's not. Like, you know, no. They had a tournament. They had a tournament in the morning that they had to push everything back for because of the rain. So now they were still on the course. They had like 7 holes left still, and it was a pro-am. So there was like 5-somes out there, and we were like, come on. Yeah. So we were like, you know, who can we talk to? So what was his name?
Brandon.
Brandon, the director of golf, came down, and I'm all standing there.
We've been planning this for months.
Tell this guy, comes down, he's the nicest guy, and he's like, I said, listen, we're not like 2 Joe Schmo resorty golfers. Like, we understand pace of play, we understand, you know, golf etiquette. Jump us out in a gap, and we'll just kind of blend right in. And he's like, dude, there's no gaps. There's 36 groups out there, 5-somes, everything. There's no gaps. There's nothing we can do. So we're like, dude, we got dinner reservations at 6. Like, there's nothing we can. So we're like freaking out. And finally, I said, here's the deal, man. Make sure we're the first group, and we're just a twosome, so make sure we're the first group out before, as soon as everybody comes off the course, and we'll zip around. We'll could possibly get in 18 holes.
Like 3 hours.
Yeah.
If we're the first group out, the scramble comes back in, we're going to be flying high, we got other things to do.
Would have been totally fine.
Yep. So we had a little lunch. We got a chance to meet the professor, the doctor, Mr. Hector Blanco. Again, check out if you haven't already, our content from last week that features the saint of golf of the island of Puerto Rico.
He's got every nickname there is.
But the bottom line it was cool because there was this big time pro-am going there. So it was set up like a professional tournament.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, big signage, you know, big sponsorship tents and stuff like that.
I love those first holes.
Yeah. So we get out onto the first hole, and it didn't quite stop raining, but it was playing.
It was warm rain. It was 85 degrees, 100% humidity, rain. And listen, we were already out there. We were ready to golf. I was playing. Yep. So
one of the interesting things about golf in Puerto Rico is I was like, wow, like somebody brought their dog with them. I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah, because there's a tent set up, and we thought that I thought it was like a vendor at the tournament that just got over, and they were just cleaning their stuff up, and they had their dog there.
Yeah. So then one dog became 2, became 4, and then there was 6. And these are some skinny looking dogs. So I'm like, all right. But the other beautiful thing about Puerto Rico is the incredible amount of birds that are down there. Yeah. And they're all over the place. And they're beautiful, and big ones and small ones and parrot looking ones. So as we get out onto the first hole, we realize that the pack of dogs that's back on the tee, that's like their territory, and then there's like another pack of dogs up on the green. And again, this is a very nice course in a beautiful residential neighborhood. And they get out and they start chasing the birds around on the fairway. So it's like going to the dog track in Boca Raton, you know, and just watching these skinny dogs run around.
I think he's using that as an excuse because I was whooping on him.
So that was one of the problems too. Again, you guys can fill it in the comments, but when you guys spend 4 months, several $1,000s, all these hundreds of hours planning these golf trips, and then you show up and double the second hole and triple the third hole, and then it starts raining harder.
And I was playing well, so I was playing the whole round. I didn't care. And then on 4 was a par 3, like 158 into a 2-club wind with torrential downpour. I strike a 5-iron, best 5-iron I've hit in 5 years, and it's just downpour. There was a tent that was left from the event. We just went and parked our whole car under there, and we just stayed there for at least a half hour.
Yeah. So Mike has a 30-foot putt.
Through a puddle.
Yeah, but it's an inch of water on the green. At that point, we sort of knew maybe we weren't getting this whole thing in, but we still played the 5th hole. By the way, you made.
I made par.
Nice par.
Yeah. Played the 5th hole, which was a really cool one, but that was where I was heading off that island.
So there'll be a video posted this week, guys, that shows Mike. It was raining so hard that in the middle of the fairway, his ball's on this patch of
dryish spot.
But it's surrounded by a moat, and he had to jump over to get over. So we played that par 5,
and then 6 when I remember that was the par 4 dog legs, and I was like, you know, I'm just gonna try to crush this over the trees, and I crushed this thing, but it didn't make it over trees, but it was a perfect line.
But at that point, we really realized that it was futile to continue to play. The greens were getting unplayable. Again,
everything was wet.
We're wet. Yeah, so we bring it on in.
And I tell you what, if you golf in Puerto Rico during that time, nothing dries. Nothing dries. You know when you hang your towel over the railing in the balcony and try to dry it, it actually gets wetter. But we played holes 1 through 6.
Yep.
1 through 6.
So so Brandon was like, hey guys, I'm going to do everything I can for you guys. If you want, you can be the very first tee time in the morning. He took really good care of us, and we said, okay, we'll be out here at 6:50. Be the first guys out.
And we were going to skip the trip into Old San Juan to play golf.
So the next morning we wake up and it's a beautiful morning, but we get a text from Brandon first thing. He says the course is unplayable. We're literally pumping the ocean back into the ocean.
Yeah.
So that kind of made up our mind. So Mike and I did get a chance to go into Old San Juan for the day. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, definitely.
If you do go to see both forts, definitely worth your time. Remember, one pass gets you both forts for the day.
Yeah.
But one of the things we built in the 1500s, they're amazing. 1400s?
14, I think.
Spanish built them, and then the
amazing.
Puerto Rico,
absolutely amazing. The town is awesome. Food is great. Get a coconut, drink out of the coconut, and then eat it for dessert.
Yeah.
I promise you that.
So Mike and I, it's about noontime, and and
it was gorgeous out there.
85, blue, sunny skies, white, wispy clouds. We both sat there and went, "We gotta get the hell out of here, man. We gotta get to the course." So we called an Uber, jump in the Uber, and just like the day before, every minute, every mile that took us closer to the golf course, the weather turned from sun to clouds, to bad clouds, to a sprinkle, to a rain, to a torrential downpour. That by the time we got back to the hotel room, we knew we couldn't play. We hadn't been to the beach or the pool yet, so we tried to do that for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then
went out into dipped our toes in the water in rain,
it was beautiful anyway. The ocean was gorgeous, the beach was gorgeous.
Yeah, but the sand was awesome too. That sand was really cool.
But we discovered that this little hotel, the hotel wasn't small, but I mean, it's not one of these giant macro resorts, but it had a micro casino.
Yeah.
So here's our question for you guys. Mike and I, while we waited for the rain for about 15 hours over the course of 3 days, played blackjack. Here's the question that we put to you guys, if you want to put it in the comments. When you play blackjack, do you play a progressive betting strategy, and do you play what you call the sucker bet?
It's a sucker bet.
The extra $1 you put up for the 3-card.
And the casinos have their own little version of that. But Adam was putting this extra little sucker bet up for like a side poker bet of your two up cards and the dealer's up card to make like some sort of poker hand.
Yeah, so much fun.
But
lost a lot of money playing that.
And I broke even. So I think over the course of the trip, we played a total of like 16 hours of blackjack.
Yes, yeah, it was at least 15, 16 hours. Yeah.
And I think I was up $5 total. So that's a win.
Where I'm now a major contributor to the gross economic product of the country of Puerto Rico.
There's no more debt.
There's no, I took care of it. So I'd like to know your betting strategy though. So Sunday comes and we wake up to a beautiful morning. The problem is everybody on the island is trying to play this course at the same time. And the earliest tee time we could get was 11:30, 12 o'clock on Sunday?
12.
So we go running out there, and it looks like we have a gap, and we gotta wait for a tee time. We're all excited, we're having lunch, and we're finally gonna get to play golf. And we had two friends of the channel, Brian Conklin and Kevin Smith. I know you guys watched, so it was great to meet up with you guys, and we got to play golf. So the minute we got on the course, the sun went away. By the second hole, the clouds came out.
Down.
By the third hole, it was torrential. The fourth hole, that par 3 again, I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, I'm wet.
Oh.
I'm like, we're gonna play.
I striped the driver on 2, and I was like, I don't care. I don't care. I was just looking at the golf gods. I'm like, I don't care. You're not stopping me.
So
you are not stopping me.
So we get through 5, and Kevin and Brian are like, "Are you guys going to continue to play?" We're like, "Yes."
I mean, everything was wet already. Like,
yeah.
my shoes were soaked. I was already in the pro shop looking for shoes. I wasn't going to pay $250 for a pair of shoes, so I was just wearing wet shoes. My golf bag was soaking wet. My head covers inside of the cart was soaking wet.
Yeah. We kept the cigars dry.
Yes,
yeah. We found a way to keep those dry.
I mean, priorities too.
So 6th hole, where on Friday we'd gotten before we had to come off the course. We're like, we're gonna play this out. You know, it's we're gonna get 18 in. There's no doubt. And then this is the first time I've ever seen this. I love carts with GPSs and things like that.
Yeah.
But this one started flashing red and saying that the course was closed.
Yeah, get off the course. We're closing it down.
Yeah.
Come back in.
So here's the nice thing about
slapping the screen, trying to turn it off.
Yeah, we just, we said, did you see that?
No,
I didn't see that. Did you see anything? No, it's beautiful. Did you see the dogs, the iguanas? Everything's beautiful. But we ignored that. So next thing you know, one of the assistant pros is out on the course. And when he showed up, I go, "Oh, good, you're bringing towels." He goes, "Guys, you got to beat it." And so we played the exact 6 holes again for the second day.
Yeah, but he did say that we can go over the river. So we start driving over the river because we just wanted a freaking place to go. So driving over the river, but in the meantime, it's raining even harder. And then Brandon was like, "Guys," he's like, "Listen," he's like, "we gotta shut everything down." He's like, it's not good for the course," which he was completely correct.
It is. It's frustrating though, and again, if you want to add the content, your horror golf stories about weather that you made.
We should play some hotel golf.
So in a future episode, you're going to see hotel golf and what that looks like. But you can't be more disappointed.
There was nothing he could do. There was nothing we could do.
But it was the 3rd day in a row where we heard there was another course on the other side of the island that drains very well. Hector Blanco, our good friend, said,
the lady in the shuttle. Several
other people had mentioned that this course, Bahia, drains very well and is always playable. And the only problem was it wasn't on our radar of top 10.
Yeah, it's top 10. I'm like,
hadn't heard of it. And then we looked; it was only 25 minutes away.
Yeah.
It wasn't far away.
And it was on the way to
the airport. So we were leaving on Monday, and we said if we booked an early enough tee time, we could squeeze in. And I'm talking squeeze in 18 holes at Bahia. Get out of the cart into the shuttle to the airport, and if we're lucky, we'll make this flight. But at this point, what else were we going to do? I mean, we played a lot of blackjack and lifted weights, but hadn't done much golf. So you booked
yeah. So I call him up and book what was it, 8:07?
Yeah, it was second tee time. Or must have been first tee time of the day.
And so we get over there. What do? We take an
Uber, a shuttle.
Yeah. Headed over there. That guy was really cool too because he was telling us about how he grew up on that long road that was back to Bahia.
How you could buy a house for 20 grand in Puerto Rico 10 years ago and renovate it.
But you're checking out. You're seeing the local town, and there was a cool little town. Everything was painted really cool.
Yeah.
And then you're driving down this long road of palm trees, and all of a sudden you get to this gate, and you're here.
So we pull into the Bahia Beach Club, and beautiful clubhouse like you would expect, palm trees like you would expect. The only trick is their pro shop was currently under repair. Yeah. So they had a temporary, it was almost like a cargo container, like a temporary building.
What'd you call it? Like a FEMA trailer?
It was like a FEMA trailer, except inside this FEMA trailer was one of the nicest pro shops I've been in a long time.
Yeah, it had everything that you wanted.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what the regular
great clothes, great prices. Yeah. The ladies around the pro shop were spectacular.
Yeah.
So they get us set up on the carts, and we go over to the driving range / restaurant.
Oh my God! They had this little restaurant sunken down off of the driving range for breakfast.
Yeah.
And
anything.
So we pre-ordered food there.
So here's the thing about this driving range, though. When you guys go to and play your winter golf, and you go to a simulator, and you get to set up the driving range, right? You click driving range and waterfall, or driving range skyscrapers, or driving range jungle. Guys, this was the most beautiful backdrop for a driving range I've ever seen in my life.
The pictures, I mean, looking at the pictures on the camera now, I'm like, man, it just doesn't even show even close to what it was.
Getting the hair on me. And this is the driving range, right? Palm tree line on both ends, plenty of targets and sand to hit in the middle.
Rainforest mountains in the background with a little bit of a cloudy fog.
Just on top of the mountains,
Yeah.
as you strike your new Hector Blanco shafted driver again and again down the fairway, right? So the thing about Bahia is it's a Robert Trent Jones junior course. Now Mike and I play on a regular Robert Trent Jones senior course. Actually we played quite a few this year, Albany Country Club, Columbia, many others. But this was the first junior course that we got to play. I think the first.
You know what's crazy now that you say that? Remember the day before when Rob was like, "Course at home. If you could change anything about it, what would you say?" I said, I think more fairway bunkers would just make it look cool. Well, this course had it.
So we decided if we were only going to get 18 in, we were going to play the whole thing. The championship tips are over 7,000 yards, right? What was your first impression of the course?
Well, I remember hole number 1, that tee box being like behind those bushes, which was like really cool. It was like even with like the cart path going to the driving range, and I was like, whoa! I'm like, this is kind of far back here, but it still looked, pretty playable. It was totally like playable, but it was tough. It was long. So
obviously we knew 7,000 was going to be long, but it was really long. And I think the bigger challenge is we're used to playing courses that are all built like, on 100 or 120 acre piece of property, they go up and back. This was carved out of the jungle. So and what, 14 holes or 16 holes had water?
16 holes had water on them.
So every single hole either had water left and jungle right, water left and right, or jungle left and right. So
and the jungle, here's the deal with the jungle. So like you get in the woods out here in New York, you can go find it, right? Might be out of bounds, but you can still go get your ball. It might be like in a lateral hazard, but you can go hit your ball and get it, find it and get it out. You can go in there, is the thing. In what, you might get some prickers or you might get some leaves. This thing is a wall of jungle that you would think that if you hit it, 50% of the time you're going to get a kick out, the other 50% of the time it's just going to go in. This thing was like a wormhole in space-time that it just sucked your ball in and it was gone. You couldn't go in there, you couldn't see in there.
Well, at one point, I actually saw Carl Weathers and Arnold Schwarzenegger battling Predator deep in this jungle, because that's essentially what it was.
Dude, it was, I went over there, I would say I probably lost a ball. I lost the ball on one, and I was peeking over there, and I was just like, all right, I can't see anything.
Wall of foliage.
I think I lost another ball on 4, same thing, and then the next time I lost the ball, it's gone. Not even looking.
So some of the things that I really loved about this course though was its unbelievable use of bunkering to protect the holes, and made you make some decisions. And again, it's the only time ever I saw, you guys know what sandy is, right? You're in a sand bunker and you still make a par. Well, I saw Mike on a par 5 in 3 different sand traps.
3 different sand traps.
Yeah.
Good distance apart from each other.
Yep.
So off the tee, I was in one. I hit like a 200-yard shot up to the 100-yard marker, so I was in another one. And then I hit a nice, good shot out of there that tailed off and fell into a greenside marker.
And almost got up and down for the triple sandy. I don't know where that ranks as far as it sounds like Rodney Dangerfield, the triple Lindy, but like I said, it's an incredible course. So I tell you, we talked about it earlier. You plan all these trips, and you don't have to play great golf, especially if you've never seen the course before, but the one thing you don't want to do is play bad golf.
Really bad.
And I was feeling for Mike because he was having a little trouble getting this driver to find the middle, and just anything left or right was death, and he was finding both of them a lot. But we were the only people on this golf course.
Yeah.
So one of the things that's interesting about Puerto Rico, and you might want to write this down for your travel blog, is nobody plays golf on Monday down there.
Yeah, apparently, like everyone we talk to, like it's Monday, just go play. It's Monday.
Yeah, there's nobody out there.
Yeah.
So Mike and I ended up spending the entire day out there.
Well, so then Hector came out on 15th. He comes out if you check the last podcast, but comes out on 15, tweaks my driver a little bit. Then we start rocking and rolling. So he actually gives us a full club fitting on 16, like on 16 tee box, like a readjustment club fitting, kind of finalized. Here you go. Now you're all set.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Then plays the last 3 holes with us.
And so Mike really got himself together those last 3 holes. Here's what's interesting though, and I want to talk about some of the highlights of the course, is because nobody was out there, we really got a chance to fly around the course. I mean, just the 2 of us playing a cart. Even though we weren't playing great, I think I ended up shooting 87. And again, I'm a 4 handicap.
From those tees too. I mean, and we're talking like long 7,000.
Yeah.
Long.
Well,
carries over a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. And it's been raining.
Yeah.
Making more excuses for the 87 that you shot. So what was really kind of cool, and I'm just going to back up for a second because I'm getting a little out of order, is just some of these signature holes that they had out there, and every one of them was special. There's no dog holes out there, meaning something that was weird or put in wrong. Every one of them was unique and challenging and fun to play. But the signature hole is the 16th, and you kind of come out of the jungle after the 15th, which is a really cool par 3, real long green, kind of brings some of the the foliage into play. But then you come around and it gets built up and you can see palm trees and you can hear the ocean, but you park the cart and you walk up a set of steps and that's all you see is the Atlantic Ocean. And it's a stunning view on this very challenging par 4.
For you? No. Once I got my driver figured out.
But just a glorious hole. The signature hole really was something very, very special. And then 18 was a monster too.
Well, yeah, 17 and 18. Yeah. 18 was a monster, but great finishing hole.
Yeah.
Finishes right into the backside of that clubhouse, which is beautiful. There's lounge chairs.
Yeah.
There was this outdoor bar.
Oh,
I was like, all right,
what
but
so
we didn't get to hang out there
because we got done playing so fast.
Yeah.
I go, Mike. I said, if we really hustle, we might be able to squeeze in another 9. So the great thing about Bahia is even though they're resort heavy as far as their weekday rates go, the replay rate is very reasonable.
Yeah, and it's unlimited.
Yeah.
So, but we were only going to play 9, so we were hoping that they had a 9 hole and then an 18, whatever. But they didn't. They said
So we get out to play another 9, and now
we go on the back.
Yep.
We chose the back because of the ocean and everything like that.
Decide to play the 1 tee forward, the equivalent of generic blue tees, not the championship tees, but the regular men's.
Definitely a little bit more enjoyable. So like if you are going and you want to not demolish yourselves, play those Bluetooths because they are still a good course. It is still a challenging course, but it's a little bit more enjoyable.
What I think it does is it opens up the landing area.
Yeah, because you can get past those chutes. Because there was a couple holes where you're coming out of the chutes that, like, if you're not hitting the ball long and straight, you're not finding that ball.
Yeah. So a little less challenging, still incredibly enjoyable. But we know we're going to get this 9 holes in. We're cutting it a little close, and then we get a text message from JetBlue. Flight's delayed.
Yep.
And I go.
So we knew we would definitely
get
that 9 in, and probably like have time to change and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So we're like, sweet.
So the more we played, the more the flight got delayed. So we knew for sure that we could stretch it out to another 9. So we got 36 in, but that was starting to cut it a little bit close. So Mike called the driver. But here was where one of our concerns was. We've been playing golf in the rain for 3 straight days, and everything that we owned that was golf related was soaking wet. We thought we were literally going to have to get off the course, get in the shuttle. Now, even though it wasn't raining on Monday, it was 92% humidity, 90 degrees.
It was 100% humidity.
So yeah. I don't know what the moisture was.
There's no deodorant that's going to help.
No. So you got 2 guys that just played 36 holes in the jungle that
in their wet stuff
that are going to get on a commercial airliner sitting next to people.
I was already apologizing to the people who were sitting around us.
So one of the cool things was we talked to the cart guy and we're like, You don't have a locker room, do you? Because it's half for members only.
It's Monday.
It's Monday. There's nobody there.
Monday.
Literally in 36 holes. How many people we see on the course?
I don't know. Did we see maybe that other twosome? Was there?
They were having lunch. I'm sure they were on the course someplace,
yeah.
but I never saw them.
Yeah.
I saw 2 stray dogs. It's all I saw on the course all Monday.
And a bunch of iguanas.
The iguanas.
Yeah.
So the guy was kind enough to let us into the members' locker room, and Mike and I got a chance to get showered up.
Yeah.
You know, get changed in dry clothes.
Found a plastic bag that we throw our stinky wet stuff in, so we didn't we probably would have got kicked off that plane.
Oh, dude.
My shoes made it into the garbage since then.
So we nice and changed, get to the airport.
Beautiful locker room.
Yeah, one of the cool things was we squirreled our way into a first class lounge to wait for a little bit, and we're relaxing there because our flight continued to get delayed.
Yeah.
So what was supposed to have us landing in New York about 7 or 8 o'clock at night? What time did we end up getting in?
Dude, we landed, I think, at we didn't take flight until 11:30.
11:30?
Yeah.
So we got in, it was 4 hours, so we got in at 3:30. By the time we got back to the hotel and back home, my wife gets up for work at 5:30 in the morning. She was already up, coffee made when we came
Dude,
home.
I got in bed at 6 o'clock in the morning. In the morning. I'm still not recovered sleep-wise from that.
So that morning we left the hotel at 6 in the morning and played 36 holes, traveled 4,000 miles, and got home at 6 next morning.
Got 36 holes in though.
Dude.
Yeah.
One way or another, we were gonna have it.
It wasn't quite the. What did we have? We had 54 planned.
Yeah, 54 over the 3 days.
54 planned, and then a lot of times when we play, we always try to sneak in another 9 or whatever we can squeeze in. But whatever, we made the best of.
So we got
the situation.
we got 6, and then we got 6,
and then 36. All right, so 48, but those 6. The problem was it was my bad. When we went out on that second round of 6 holes, we probably should have went up on the back, so we got to actually see some more holes. But
so I'd say overall, Puerto Rico, great place to play golf. Again, I don't care where you go, unless you're going to Arizona. You're gonna be weather affected in some way, shape, or form. I just say, find the positives in it. And again, what the Grateful Dead did, the Grateful Dead always talked about. It's about the journey. And we had a great journey.
Yeah, we wouldn't have met Hector.
No.
We had some amazing food while we were there. Empanadas are amazing.
Wouldn't have met Hector. Food was amazing. We played blackjack for
Casino. Yeah.
And we got custom shafts built, and we played Bahia.
We would not have played Bahia. Because that was not on the thing. So I'm telling you guys, play Bahia.
I don't know who's making these top 10.
Yeah, we need to make these top 10.
You're missing one.
I'm gonna put it together.
Yep.
Because that course, we didn't get to see the other 2 courses. We didn't get to see the whole course of Ocean Course or River. Both looked really nice, but Bahia is definitely.
Here's my thought though. If that course doesn't make the top 10, what are the other courses like?
Yeah.
maybe they are better.
But Bahia was super nice, man. Great greens, great fairways. Those bunkers were amazing. That hole along the ocean is awesome.
I'd like to stay at that resort because that is the place to have a cocktail after.
So check out the videos this week coming up because there's a lot of cool houses. All the houses are being they're all brand new. There's some being built on the 3rd hole. There was some really nice holes there.
Yeah.
There was that other par 3 that was on the back where I think that might have been 17 with the water left. And remember, I was on the other side of the bushes and I had to take a drop on the other side of the bushes.
Yeah, that thing's a monster.
And all those houses there were super gorgeous. So, it's always funny because the workers and the drivers, they always love to kind of talk up the area, but I guess that's where all a lot of the celebrities live and are building houses and stuff there too. So it was really cool.
Yeah, but bottom line is our first trip to Puerto Rico, and definitely not going to be our last.
No, definitely not.
So check out the Wyndham, check out Bahia, check out Hector Blanco, check out the Puerto Rico Open, and continue to check out, subscribe to Just the Tips.
Yeah.
But I'm Adam.
I'm Mike.
Just the Tips.